Is Microsoft finally getting the message that we don't want AI crammed in every corner and that maybe we'll want an operating system that we can trust? We're going to talk about this today. Thanks for checking out this video by Switch to Linux. If you like this type of content, subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Leave us a like and a comment down below. Of course, have a look at the website at switchedtolinux.com/support if you want to jump onto our supporter networks through Patreon, Subscribestar, or Locals. And there's more information about those over on that page. Because we don't like to do sponsors, even though I get tons and tons and tons of emails who have a great product my audience would love to see. I ain't going to give you that stuff. Only stuff I can build here, self-hosted, and just kind of show you what it is and offer it. But that's what we do here. But today we do want to talk about, after the roughest month Microsoft might have had in a long time, they finally are like, hey, I think we're going to slow down a little bit. Let's do that. They said they're going to reassess Windows 11 AI push, Copilot clutter, and recall design. Now, the problem is Microsoft thinks it's all about AI, and it's actually not. It's more about something else that we'll read about here in a moment, but let's just walk through first what they're going to do. So effectively, one of the main features is some people are frustrated that AI is getting crammed everywhere. I mean, even yesterday, I had talked about the DuckDuckGo situation because I'd removed it from one of my main web browsers because it's just AI assistant summaries and AI this and AI that. I got sick of it. And while you could make some settings, I'm not going to save cookies and rely on settings and rely on passkeys and things like that to save DuckDuckGo settings. But they rolled out a no AI version of DuckDuckGo. And that was really cool. That's why I did that video yesterday, because while AI can be a useful thing for some people, and hey, sometimes those AI assistants might not be bad. But the challenge is we just don't necessarily want it always in our face, and have an option to live our life without it is a better option. And so this is really what Microsoft is at. But the problem is Microsoft thinks it's the AI itself is the problem. And it's really not. And we'll get into what the real problem is here in a moment. But over here, it's basically with the fumbled recall. Remember they wanted to hoist recall on people without going through the preview channel? Oh, that would have been a nightmare. But now in recent years, we have Copilot entries for Notepad, Paint, and File Explorer. And people are like, why? And the reality here is that there's a number of different features in AI that could be useful if you wanted it. But many people are saying, hey, give us a way to say we don't want AI at all. And while there's places you can go into about, I think it's 1,001 different Windows settings to turn off the AI in most places, they need to have a master toggle switch. And we're going to be looking at a story probably later on this week in the Weekly News Roundup about Firefox release some information about it is going to come with a master AI kill switch. Are we getting to that point where AI is not going to be hoisted upon us at all times? Is this AI bubble about to burst? That would be an interesting thing. But let's go ahead and look at what they're doing. So what are they changing? They're going to stop cramming Copilot buttons everywhere, and they're even going to review whether Copilot buttons are even necessary in places like Paint and Notepad and, other brain dead places that all of us are going, why? All right. They want to look at Windows recall again because the first 3 or 4 times they tried to release it was bad enough, and now they really want to spend a little bit more time. And then they are going to continue working with AI investments via APIs under the hood, and that's probably the best place for it. Again, assuming that AI master switch can toggle that off as well, because the last thing I need is some AI system that I don't even know is interacting with an API under the hood. My system's sitting there doing AI-like things without me even knowing anything about it. And so, I don't know. But effectively, the first point here is interesting. They say, trust is fragile and expensive to repair. This is really the hinge of what it is, and we're going to get more into this on the next article. But with Windows, trust right now is extraordinarily fragile. From hoisting upon us an entire month of broken systems, constantly breaking everything, that we've learned that most of the code in Windows is being written by AI. And we also talked about how recently that when that happens, developers kind of lose that sharpness to spot good code. And especially if they're being, and I don't know if they are, but if they're being encouraged to push code through faster, they might look a lot less closely at code if they just need to rubber stamp it for the AI, mastermind. And so what ends up happening is simple things like the terminal and the calculator stop functioning, because they end up breaking the connections to the store. Why those two applications would need a connection to the store is still not yet really explained. Very interesting. And so looking at it, they are hoisting this stuff, and there's some things about risk strategies and stuff like this. But what I really wanted to highlight here is that it's not necessarily AI is the problem. It's the trust that's the problem. And that's really what got me to switch to Linux the first time. Windows 10 was rolling out. It wasn't yet out. The EULA's released. I'm reading through this thing, and it's like it constantly connects diagnostic information without my consent and sends it out to the company. No, I am not interested in that at all. I don't want information from my computer going to Microsoft servers. And you cannot make the argument that helps them better diagnose things. They have been collecting data for years, and they rolled out the most disastrous update ever. This is insane. Okay? This is not about collecting data to make rollouts better. It's not working. Something's broken in there if that happens to be your alleged goal. All right, so user reactions are not the AI, it's trust. Because our system is collecting all this data. Our system is integrating AI. Our system wants to be agentic. Our system wants to do all of these things that we may not want to happen. And so looking at it, starting with recall and then Copilot, and they say here, wherever you're looking at comments, there's a remarkable amount of cohesion in the comments suggesting that it's not just all about the AI. It's more about trust. People are not rejecting AI itself. They're reacting to how Microsoft has handled it. Features pushing the OS without clear communication, shifting priorities that feel disconnected from user needs, and a growing sense of the company is not even earning the trust it's asking for. So the frustration isn't the technology, it's the relationship between Microsoft and the people who use it. Don't forget, the main principle of an operating system is to flawlessly operate in the background and allow you to do your tasks. Microsoft is moving away from this. Their background is not in the way. It's not out of the way. It's in the way. You're sitting there working long. You're focused on going on. Bling! Notification. Have you tried OneDrive? Really? I mean, at least it's not like GNOME. Bling! Want to give us money? No, not really. I was thinking about it, but not anymore. All right. And so the problem here is that Microsoft has created an operating system that's pushing advertisements all over the place. It is not an operating system that is flawlessly working. It has constant problems, constant issues, and it just seems to be getting worse and worse with every passing day, not better and better, as usually happens. I mean, remember when your first version would roll out and people are like, yeah, I'm not going to upgrade to that yet. I'm going to wait until the bugs are rolled out and get the next version. Well, you can't even do that anymore because Windows is like, no, you must update. We're going to lock your system until you update, pleb. And then you are forced to update into something that breaks your computer. Go figure, right? Maybe it's just a giant psyop. See how mad they can make people. I don't know. But here's a collection of what people are saying. They're not a tech company anymore. The strongest reactions are not about Copilot, but about what Microsoft has become. On Reddit, Do Not Do It summed up bluntly, for a tech company, they are not that tech literate, but Downtown Category 163 says they are very shareholder literate. That's right. Whatever it takes to boost the shareholders, that is what they are going to do. Maybe they're not slowing down AI because users are complaining, but because the AI hype is slowing down. It's hard to say exactly what their purpose is because all of their official community representatives, you can tell if a community representative is lying if their lips are moving, It's in our best interest to care for all users no matter what. You can't tell me that's their goal. All right. But many people are saying AI is fine, but not when it's forced upon us. So this guy on Reddit says an OS should be an OS alone. If anyone wants AI, they can install it. This is very true. In fact, this computer that's over my shoulder right here, this is what I have referenced many times. This is my AI server. I've turned it on just for this video because I'm recording this here on Linux Mint. And over here on Linux Mint, there is no AI. The operating system is completely out of my way. It runs flawlessly in the background, doesn't give me problems. And hey, if I need AI, look at this. I mean, I just have this nice user interface. I have a number of different models. I can choose which model I want to use. And I can go in here and be like, give me a description and keywords for a video about Microsoft losing trust with customers and why Linux has more trust. So we can just go ahead and send this out, and it's going to go up there. And since this is a locally hosted server running on just a small laptop in my background, just on an external hard drive, it will, I mean, it's not going to respond as fast as ChatGPT, but it's going to work just fine. All right, here you go. So it's just going to go ahead and write us a description. But you notice here that this is not hoisted upon me. This is a complete willing choice of mine to turn this system on, to allow this system to work. And also, by the way, this is all self-hosted, local models only. It's not going out to the internet for this. It's not giving my data to any other company, unlike Copilot, which collects all forms of data and gives it out. But you can see here, here's the title. Oh, that's a good title. I might actually use this. I'm just going to use all this. Okay, here's a thumbnail suggestion. Split screen, one side Microsoft logo looking slightly faded damage. The other side looks vibrant, modern Linux logo. Okay, that's interesting. Estimated video, 8 to 12 minutes. Ooh, we're just crossing 12 minutes now. I don't know if that's going to happen. And then, of course, here's an overview. And then, okay, here is where AI is breaking down. I did not ask it to give me a summary of what I should do in the video. I just wanted a title and keywords. But actually, if I had written this out beforehand and maybe I go, that's kind of neat, maybe I'll follow this as a line. But I don't do that. I mean, you can feel confident as I'm doing this. I don't even really use AI in the preparation of these videos. I did it on one video just to see what the result was, and I don't remember it being a standout video. We'll see if it gives us those keywords at the end. But the other thing I actually did this week, because we're finally getting power back, the sun's moving higher, I have more power, so I built an easy diffusion server, allowing me to basically build an AI image generator server that is also offline. And of course, the default prompt is to generate an image of an astronaut riding a horse. And so this was generated on my AI server that I just put on the computer. It's in fact the same computer we're recording this on, with a different hard drive embedded in it. So I want you in the comments to caption this. My caption for this is Elon Musk has finally colonized Moon, and now we are rounding up the space bison. You tell me what the description of this video is, and let's see if our Gemma AI has gone down here. So here's keywords. Here's a general mix, broad keywords. This is not doing the keywords as I like them. Usually I've been using this for generating articles, SEO articles for clients. And on the articles, it gives me the keywords comma separated. So I could have told it to do that. But here's some extra related topics. Here's some important considerations. So obviously we're recording the video as this happened, but you can kind of see how you could use this to even come up with a video topic and basic suggestions, which let's read through this. May as well. So erosion of trust in Microsoft. We've kind of done this. Windows Update Nightmare. Okay, we did that. Subscription-based models. I didn't cover subscription-based models. Okay. Service changes and API breaks. We didn't talk about that. Lack of transparency. We are kind of talking about that in recent controversies. Yes, we've talked about those. And then why Linux builds trust, open philosophy, community support, stability. Since I haven't even thought about this yet, we'll just talk about these. Yes, Linux itself has generally an open philosophy. We are open. We have a lot of community support. Some people think this is a downside. It's not as easy to get some help as it is calling the Indian who will help you solve your computer problems because a number popped up on your screen. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That was a scammer, right? Stability and control. Yeah, and it gets out of the way. And control, it's doing what I want it to do. And then, of course, focusing on freedom. That's good. All right, so that's kind of neat. And I had no idea what it was going to tell me. I just turned the server on and ran that. And that's what we got. So pretty interesting, but notice that that wasn't crammed in here. Even on, I forgot to pull the photo over. I took a photo actually on my other computer, because you can actually, in LibreOffice does not have AI by default, but if you find AI useful, you can install the local writer AI, which will tie into that server, which the main server on that is Llama with Open Web UI is what we're looking at here. On that particular server setup, what I can do is I can tell it we're going to use a Llama. This is the access to the server. This is the model I want you to use. And then you can use AI features in LibreOffice, but rest assured there are no AI features built into LibreOffice. I had to manually install those components. Have I used them? A couple times. It wasn't the greatest user experience. Open Web UI, absolutely an amazing user experience. And this has a ton of different things. It'll save all these. I actually just created this particular account on this just to show you guys AI in the coming future, because my other main account on this, I'm actually using for client work. So I didn't want to expose what I'm doing for clients using this, but, and then there's a lot of settings over here, and I can create extra users. There's administrative accounts and user accounts. So this thing works great, but it's not forced upon me. And that's what people are making the argument here, is that AI is fine, but forced it is not. This guy says that Copilot is fine as long as it's not the pilot. And that's what it feels like, it's being the pilot right now. They talk a little bit about recall. We've done a dozen videos on recall on the channel. We're not going to spend any time on that. And most people really just want Microsoft to stop focusing on cramming AI into every corner and just make AI work. That's all they're asking for. Just make AI work. Nobody wants the AI crammed everywhere. Nobody needs AI in Notepad or Paint or things like that. Just make the operating system work. And some people are saying, hey, we need a master toggle switch. One place, turn it all off. No Copilot buttons on any application, no Copilot suggestions, no Copilot in your start menu, no Copilot anywhere else. They did mention here the Copilot confusion. Microsoft has always had a branding problem. They have a service called Outlook and a program called Outlook. They had Windows RT and Windows Pro, when 8 rolled out. People didn't know the difference between all these different things. And they've done this all the time. And now they're basically calling everything Copilot. And they all do different things. And so that's a problem. Not everybody does want Microsoft to abandon AI. There's a few people, they're probably all Microsoft employees or, on the employee team being commanded as part of their job to go out and create ghost accounts on these different places and leave comments about how great the AI is. I don't know. I don't have any proof of that, but sounds logical to me. And then, of course, some people are questioning, is this just a PR stunt, or is this something Microsoft is actually doing? But the reality is most people are just interested in an operating system that works, that gets out of their way. And as we've mentioned here, Linux does a great job of doing all of these things. It really does a great job of installing, not giving us constant barrages of notifications, not hoisting AI upon us. Even a couple of the distros out there with AI pre-installed. We looked at the one last week, is it Lyra, I think. And that was just an AI application. There's Deepin actually has some AI chatbots integrated that you would have to turn on and then configure to use. But there are some in Linux doing these things, but they're not so in your face like Microsoft. And that really is the point I wanted to make, is that Microsoft doesn't have an AI problem as much as it has a trust problem. People do not trust the operating system. They don't trust that Copilot's not perpetually spying on them. They don't trust all of these services. They don't trust the fact that they don't want to use a Microsoft account and they're being forced to. These all create issues and problems with trust. And this is really the area that we want to talk about and focus on. So with that being said, we are going to wrap up the video once again with our astronaut riding the horse. I want you to tell me in the comments, what is your story about this? My story, once again, for reiteration, Elon Musk has colonized the moon, and now we're rounding up space bison. You tell me what you caption this picture in the comments down below, and understand this is the absurdity that took 3 hours to install, used God knows how much bandwidth, and sucked a whole lot of power out of the solar panels in my van just to put together the system to generate this little 512 pixel image of an astronaut riding a horse. And for that, I must say, society might just be doomed. But you tell me what you think about this picture in the comments down below.